Welcome back to another episode of the Mind of George Show. And if you see the sexy glow on my face, that's what I call the post-event glow. Because we just finished the event and I recorded a quick podcast of one of the biggest takeaways for the event with one of the most important questions that you need to ask yourself every day, answer every day, and it's guaranteed to get you to your results. And so without further ado, I'm going to stop my bumping my gums in the intro. I'm going to cue this intro and let's get into the episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Mind of George Show, and today is a special one. It is Friday, April 1st. It is April Fool's when I'm recording this. I think you're hearing this on Monday. I don't have an April Fool's joke. I just got back from Austin, Texas. We just facilitated 8 magical days, 6 days in person, 3 with our mastermind, 3 days at the Lighthouse Business Accelerator, and then 2 days with my staff. And holy moly, I have never worked so hard, expelled so much energy, and came home so full and so alive and so driven to go because it was incredible. And so if you have not seen the video yet, we posted the video from the event. It's on my Facebook. It's on my Instagram. My mind was blown. One of my intentions at all of my events is to co-create. And today's episode is going to be short and it's going to be about desire and wants and what the secret is that's required to get what we want. And so in co-creating my events, when everybody sits down in the first day, I let people know they're in the right room. I ask them, like, did anybody trick you? Do you believe in blank? And everybody ended up in the right room and we started co-creating the event together. And one of my favorite things that ever happened is that this entire event is on customer journey. It's me teaching you how to literally deepen your love affair with your customers and scale your business through customer journey. And everybody always wants strategies and tactics and strategies and tactics. And so here is the most beautiful part. We had some of them, but everybody in saying what they wanted and what they wanted to achieve was willing to go deeper. And we went deeper. We did breath work at the event. We had sound healing at the event. We had breakout circles at the event. We had speakers at the event. And I watched people catapult, and I mean fucking catapult their trajectory to their results and to their business by being in the room for 3 days without the quote unquote strategies and tactics. Now, did we use strategies and tactics? Yes. Did we talk about them? Yes. But the first thing we did is we made sure the person that was receiving the strategy and tactic shifted, expanded their capacity, increased their range to be crystal clear on what it is that they want so that those strategies and tactics get them to where they wanted to go. So this morning, I was reading an article from Benjamin Hardy. I absolutely love his stuff. And he references a quote in a book. But this is all around desire. Okay. So I'm going to read this part because it is so powerful and is so crystal clear on who we get to be and how we get to be this way as entrepreneurs. So he wrote this in one of his Medium articles. He said, desire. Napoleon Hill said that desire is the starting point of all achievement. If you want something enough to get it, you have to really want it. If you're not getting what you want, then maybe you don't want it bad enough. Maybe, just maybe, you still want what you currently have. And that is the best way to describe what happens at events. See, as entrepreneurs, we keep going. We add pressure and noise onto our plate. We add things, we keep going, but very rarely do we ever stop, remove the pressure and noise, and increase our capacity to hold more. So no matter what, our bucket is always full. There's no space left in the bucket. So once we start adding more, it leaks out, we get exhausted, we get overwhelmed, and we wonder why we're not getting different results. I say this because growth and scale comes from subtraction, not addition. We have to be willing to subtract some things, spend some time alone, increase our capacity, and then be intentional about what we fill in that container. The next part of what he wrote says, in the book, The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership, the authors state, commitment is a statement of what is. You can know what you're committed to by your results, not by what you say your commitments are. We are all committed. We are all producing results. The results is the proof of the commitment. And so when we think about this, there will never be a to-do list that's empty. As an entrepreneur, there will never not be 1,000 tasks to get done. We all have the same task load, whether we're doing email marketing or customer journey or social or paid media or product design or retail or wholesaler, distribution or packaging or digital marketing. It doesn't matter. As an entrepreneur, nothing is ever perfect. No company is ever perfect. Nothing is ever done. And so I watched myself for years and say, I'm committed to this. I'm committed to this. I'm committed to this. And all I was doing was giving myself fucking lip service because I wrote it on a piece of paper and I stuck it on the wall, but I didn't change my rituals. I didn't change my habits, and I couldn't figure out why. And the reason why is because I was never intentional about making myself more capable of holding more tools. All I did was start to collect tools. I'll buy another hammer. I'll buy another screwdriver. But I don't need 7 hammers to build a house. I need to be able to swing the hammer I have more frequently, more often, and more efficiently, which can only come from working on the foundation, which is us. So the next part says, your commitment is a reflection of your desire. If you really want something, then you'll commit to that thing. You'll be willing to let go of other things. You'll go all in. You'll go get it. You'll find a way. Commitment is a statement of what is, means that what you currently have is what you're currently committed to. Put another way, what you currently have is what you currently want. If you truly wanted something different, you'd get something different. Now, that statement has triggered me. It's triggered a lot of people. And I'm going to break it down very, very simply. As an entrepreneur, as a human being, the thing that we must protect over everything is consistency and intention. We cannot allow outside noise, the outside world, to distract us. We cannot allow the pressure and noise from everything around us, as our dear friend Alex Sharfin says, to prevent us from doing what we want. We have to own our day. We have to own our life, which starts by owning ourselves and our rituals. And so what I loved at the event is I watched people who have been like, I've never done breath work in my life. And because they intentionally laid down and did breath for an hour, left the event, changed their entire morning routine, been intentional about their time, and now are absolutely crushing where they are spending their time so that the strategies and tactics that we're given have a better chance of working. So what we need to be integrous about is when we look at our life, when we look at our results, when we look at where we're spending our time, we have to be radically honest with what we're doing. There are days that I scroll through Instagram for 2 hours. There are days that I end up in a YouTube trap for 7 hours. There are days I come to my office and all I do is sit here and get no work done, and that's okay. What I need to do is be integrous about that. So when I notice it, I can start making systematic small changes to my rituals and routines to ensure that if I think I want something and I say to the world that that's what I want, that I am aligning my actions with intentionality and consistency to give me the best chance of getting that result. And there are plenty of times in my life where I have genuinely thought that I wanted something. But when I looked at my results, when I looked at where I was spending my time, when I looked at the effort that I was giving out to the world, I was not putting forth an effort to create the result. I was putting forth the effort to stay where I was, which meant there was a point of me that wasn't being radically honest about what I desired. And so now we have to start from us. Everything starts with us. Whether you read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, the first thing he talks about is not changing your habits, but changing your identity. Right? Instead of being, I'm going to go run and I want to run a marathon, to I am a runner. Like for me, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a customer journey expert. Like that's my identity. Relationships mean everything to me. And so rather than having a checklist of like what I do to have relationships, I believe that I am the king of relationships and I align every action I take with that thing. And so then from that place in my identity, I am a relationship expert. I am a marketer. I am one of the world's best at customer journey. And so when that's my identity, then I take that identity and I find with intentionality the 3 to 4 things that I can do every single day consistently, and I protect them so that I can actually change the results I want in my life. And what I loved watching is I loved watching everybody's eyeballs light up, their souls light up. And I asked them one very important question. And I said, to this point, what would it look like, or who would you have to be to add fun back into your life and business? What would the dream look like? What did it feel like to be 4 years old? And describe where you are right now. And I want you to think about the same thing. If you were having a conversation with your 4-year-old you, How would that 4-year-old talk to you right now? How would they describe you? Would they think you're a superhero, that you're amazing, that you're so full of love, that you've crushed and you literally have superpowers because you've made it to this point? Probably. And then you could ask them, hey, mini version of me, what is it that I think that you think I should be doing now? Like, what are some dreams you have for me? What do you think I should be doing? And I guarantee you that they're going to tell you, or you're going to think about all the ways in which you can add fun back and play back and intentionality back into what you desire so that you can align your actions with your intention to create that result. But all of it comes down to identity. And I feel so edified and excited that for 3 days we had 50 people in a room and every one of them left a different person because they came in and instead of adding strategies and tactics, instead of adding to-do lists, instead of saying, how can I do more? They got into, what do I desire? Who am I? What do I stand for? What do I represent? And now from that place, what actions can I take that will align myself to achieve my goals? And in the process, realize that if they didn't have the capacity or there was something getting in the way, that we could remove it and create space for that to happen. And so I wanted to talk about this today because all of us desire things, and that's okay. And I love that. But desire is only 10% of the game because desire gives you clarity. But once you have the clarity, you have to build your life, your habits, your routines, and your entire container, your work container, your colleague container, your friend container, your fitness container, your sleep container, your family container to conspire to hold you accountable to give you the best chance of success. And that's where the magic happens. And I am so sick of people talking about like, oh, just have a vision board and put it on your wall. No, it's great to look at it. But if you're not aligning yourself to the actions, if you're not willing to be held accountable, if you're not willing to have a hard conversation with yourself that like, hey, I can't keep telling everybody that I want to lose weight when at 11 p.m. I go sneak in the refrigerator and I emotionally eat because I don't know how to talk about my feelings. I've done that. I used to do that all the time, but it comes down to honesty and integrity. And I want you to hear this. The reason I say this is I get so fucking pissed hearing about the hundreds of thousands of dollars that people have spent on coaches and courses and consultants that keep convincing you that you're broken and you're wrong and you have to do it their way or that they have the answer. They don't. You have the fucking answer. You do. You need to align yourself with people that know that you're a rock star, that know that you feel that you have this desire for greatness, that know that you're capable of amazing things, that see you at your potential and hold you accountable for being there. And they support you. They don't placate you, they don't gaslight you, and they sure as shit don't disempower you, but they hold you accountable. And you need to be around those people because I am so sick of hearing from all these people. Well, how do I double my business? Give me a checklist to make more money. Like, how do I get people to pay me more? Wrong questions. I'm going to give you one to end the episode. The question is this, is who do you get to be to create the results that you want? Who do you get to be to create the results that you want? And when you start there, and you start there with clarity, you set your intention, you protect consistency over everything, you surround yourself with people like me in our community who will hold you at your potential and be honest with you about your superpowers. And then you realize that you're the only one who can win the gold medal race of your life. And then we say, go, and we support you and protect you in that momentum. Your results are guaranteed and your success is almost undescribable. Are there hard days? Yes. Are there tears? Yes. Are there fears? Yes. I cried twice this morning before I recorded this podcast because of emotions. That's a beautiful part about this. If we're not stretching, we're not growing. And that's okay if you don't want to do that, but you have to be honest with yourself. And so I'm going to leave you with this to chew on for the weekend, the week ahead, whatever day you're listening to this. Who do you get to be to create the results that you want? And I want you to have some time with that. And if I can help you in any way, shoot me a DM on Instagram. It's George Bryant, and let me know your answer to that question. But here's what I want you to do. I am I'm recording a ton of new episodes. I am on a different level. We are sprinting. We have customer journey stuff coming out. We got event notes coming out. We got calls coming out, master classes coming out. And here's my ask of you. And I'm going to be really integrous with you. If you ask that question And the answer to that question means that you don't align with me, that I don't help, that you don't care about your customers, or that you wouldn't be willing to work with your customers for free, or that you don't think, or that you think upsells are important, or that the way that shitty internet marketing happens, or that coaching means just gaslighting people. Like, if you think those things, I have no judgment for you whatsoever. But I don't want you to stick around anymore, because what I want is I want you to listen to this podcast if you literally think that your customers matter over everything, that their results are more important than your revenue, that there's better ways to do things, that your soul shouldn't need a shower at the end of the day, that when you put your head on the pillow, you should be proud of the work you did and not feel slimy, that you shouldn't have shitty business partnerships for transactions, that you shouldn't cut corners when everybody convinces that you should. If your product costs a little bit more to make because it's better for your customers, and you would do that. If you believe in those things, stick around and lean in more. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the more you lean in to this podcast, to implementing this stuff, to our community, and get around the rest of us, the faster you're going to get there. And it's time for us to go. And so I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Thanks for listening to my wrist jingles. For those of you that were at my event, I am so stoked and I can't wait for the next one. We will recreate that magic. Have a beautiful day. Have an incredible month, an incredible week, an incredible every moment that you can. And start asking yourself, how do you get to align yourself with who you get to be to create the results that you want? What's your ritual? What's your routine? What's your habit? Start building it, start doing it. And I'd highly recommend that as a part of it, if you're aligned, you add this podcast to your arsenal. So thank you. I love you. If you have not, please do me the favor and leave me a review. If you're listening to this on Spotify, it would mean the world to me, because they just opened reviews and I don't have many reviews there. I think there's 2. I would love it if you left a review. It helps people find the podcast. It helps me get more guests, more important guests that say yes because of how many reviews we have, which give you information. It helps me create more episodes and push this momentum as the message spreads. And so please, from the bottom of my heart, leave me a review if you haven't. But more importantly, have a beautiful day. Remember that relationships will always beat algorithms, and you will either see me in the next episode or you will hear me in your earballs. But either way, I'm going to go take the first breath I've taken in this entire podcast, and I'm going to go have some family time. So I love you guys. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you or hear you, or you will hear me or see me in the next episode. Bye.